And now, broadcasting on Star Worldwide Networks, it's In the Green Room. Green is in, but what does that really mean for you? Join the gang for a fun and energetic half-glass, half-full perspective to what and how sustainability is the lifestyle for the future. It can really affect everything you do, from your health, wallet, environment, money, even your morals. So our goal, to help save the planet one show at a time. Now, welcome to the Green Room.
Welcome, everyone, to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet. I hope everybody's having a great day.
Woohoo!
How are you all doing in the studio?
Amazing.
Welcome, Christina.
Welcome back.
Welcome. She's our expert for fitness and nutrition. And we also have welcome back, Dr. Neller.
Thank you. It's the greatest show on earth. So why be anywhere else on a Tuesday night?
Well, thank you. We're super excited because, you know, Chet was saying to me today, we really have to talk about there's a lot going on here in America. And well, you know, the times are...
Basically, every election cycle, or presidential election cycle at least, the losing side tries to claim, oh, this is going to be the end of America. It's gotten so like polarized in the media that, and nobody has like looked back and said, oh, wait, that's not true. Like when Obama won, all the conservative Fox News and everything was saying, oh, it's going to be the socialist end of America. And was that true? No.
Obama did a great job.
Yeah, exactly.
Obama did a great job.
And then the same thing happened when Trump won. Everybody on the left was like, oh, this is going to be the end of America. He's going to, reign as a king for like 5 terms. That's not true either, clearly. He's being a bit of a sore loser, but it's not the end of the world. Like, everybody needs to relax and realize we're going to get through this.
It's called sanguine.
We can get through it.
Do you like that word? My friend Cheryl Hooper always uses that word, sanguine.
That's a great word.
It's being positive during a disaster. Doc, what do you think about what's going on? Give your 2 cents.
It's a little disconcerting. I think the censorship is particularly disconcerting, and I'm surprised that that's even necessary. And
So, Chet, do you know about?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know about the censorship?
It's kind of terrifying because it also like really plays right into the conspiracy theorists' hands because they can go, oh, look, it is true. All of big tech is against him. And he must be, telling the truth about them. It kind of makes the big tech companies look bad when they're trying to just censor people's voices. So,
but you were saying you didn't really
Dr. James about that because I just think everybody should have their platform regardless of their view. So that's freedom of speech.
Well, that would be ideal. But, the question is, do we have that right now? And prominent thinkers who I respect, like Elon Musk, are starting to speak up and saying we're giving up a little bit too much here.
We were talking about Elon Musk last week.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, when he became the richest man in the world.
Really? What were you guys saying about Elon Musk?
Well, we were just saying that he's clearly such a genius.
I like that he's coming out and starting to kind of give his perspective on politics.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll be our next president.
No, he was not born in the United States.
I don't think he wants to be president.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wasn't born here, which is actually
He was born
kind of a dumb
Africa,
requirement.
South African, and then he immigrated most recently from Canada. But
yeah. So he could be, I think a vice president can be from another country.
So you didn't finish your thought, though, Doc.
And my thought was?
You were talking about what you're thinking about what's going on in the politics and the censorship, but you didn't finish.
Well, I think the censorship is concerning when all of the media outlets and all of the social media outlets seem synchronized in shutting down or suppressing certain voices. That is concerning for all of us.
Yeah, it's like
definitely
out of an
seeing a trend.
Orwell novel, like, oh, we're keeping you safe. But I don't know. We need to have the right freedom of speech. You can't try to bubble wrap the world.
So we've never really had a show like this where we just talked about about the current events and what's going on. But I mean,
what do you mean? We have conversations about current events. What are you talking about? There's a conversation.
I mean, we do. It's a conversation, and we always have a conversation. But we never address when something, something extremely negative is going on that's political, because we try to stay out of politics.
Well, one thing that's extremely positive that hopefully will be happening. Because I know you're obsessed with polar bears, or you always claim to be. The Trump administration was pushing to sell a massive chunk of the Arctic Wildlife Refuge to they were going to sell it to the highest bidder, like an oil drilling contract. And with Biden's administration coming in, they're probably going to cancel that contract. So it'll save a lot of polar bears' lives, hopefully.
Oh, thank you for telling me that great news.
So,
I did hear that, and you've mentioned that before, and I'm happy you're talking about that on the show because we're here saving the planet
One show
at
at
a
a
time. And it's all the little things. It's all this, every little thing that you can do, it adds up. If everybody does more and we can all do more, that makes such a difference, right, Christina? What about
Definitely.
you? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing to help save the planet?
I feel like
Do you recycle?
we do recycle. We do a lot of recycling, actually. We always end up with a pile of it in our main living room that we have to basically rock, paper, scissors who's going to drag it all out there. But
Rock, paper, scissors.
recycling, I feel like we've kind of been using transportation a lot less. So we've kind of been staying at home or ride sharing.
Oh, carpooling. That's a big
thing,
one. That's a big one.
Which is kind of a bummer because you're kind of seeing less and less of Ubers and Lyfts. So I'm not really sure why that is, but I feel like recently it's been harder to get rides places. Like there's been a lot of times where we've been forced to walk, which is not bad, but
That's healthier.
exactly, yeah. But it's
Well, maybe it's because a lot of
There have
people
been
are
some
staying
shortages,
home.
yeah.
A lot of people are staying home, so there's not as much use for the Ubers and Lyfts, right?
yeah,
I mean,
and
people
they
aren't
do
going
have a lot
out.
of restrictions right now, so that could have a lot to do with it too.
Well, I know they were passing some law that was going to make them not be independent contractors anymore.
Yeah, they're already not.
Yeah,
They're
so
employees.
it's more expensive for Uber to hire them. So the more regulated any industry is, the more expensive it is to hire each worker.
And also, you
less
have to
workers
remember,
there
a
will
lot
be.
of people are scared to get COVID. And so maybe those drivers don't want to be in a car.
I've had a
with
few
somebody-
drivers that are pretty old where I'm like, wow, you're really in the at-risk group right now.
Well, another cool thing, speaking of Elon Musk, I think it was last week they opened up the underground tunnel in Vegas where you can travel from the
Boring
convention
Company,
the
yeah.
convention center. Yeah, you can travel from the
Boring Loop.
convention center to the strip all underground. So I think that's a really good idea to have 3D transportation because why not be traveling underground?
I love it.
The COVID restrictions put off opening up yet, I think, right?
No, that was the LA one. I think they shut down, but the Las Vegas one was set to open last week. I don't know 100% sure if it did, but
Yeah,
that
I was reading that because of new COVID restrictions, the opening is backed off a month or something, but it is going to be open within the next month.
So Doc's looking at something on his phone. What do you have to show us, or what show and tell are we going to do now?
He's trying to pronounce Elon Musk's son's name, which is
Wait, he- I think he has
AXKCHI12 or something
multiple-
weird like that. It's a
is
Roman
this?
numeral or something. I
That
don't
was
know.
crazy.
It is.
It's like ACHI.
It's there's a lot of X's. I know that, and an I and an E. I think.
Half was from him, and half from the mother
I
of the
think they
child.
just
his
picked
wife.
some letters from each name and just scrambled them around.
I want to see what's on the screen.
Oh, I think
it's the formula or it's like the answer for some equation or something.
Yeah, it has. There's a background story to it. Well, I think
I
we'll
don't
just
know.
have to have him on the show to ask him personally.
We will have him on the show.
he would be.
know.
He would be a great guest.
we
You have to listen carefully to what he says though, because it's really hard to get lost.
So I've
Really
heard
hard to get
He
lost?
says a lot of big words.
Really hard to get lost.
What?
He's very soft spoken too. We just listened to his podcast on Joe Rogan.
We
and
did.
He gave a great interview.
I thought it was a fabulous interview.
Yeah.
He was talking about
Incredibly
how
interesting guy.
I don't know if you guys have heard that podcast with Joe Rogan and
The first one where he
The
he hits the
experience?
blunt and then I think he was taken out of being Tesla's CEO and SpaceX's CEO or something like that.
He
Because,
founded SpaceX, so I don't think.
Or
that's
yeah, it was
possible.
Tesla. He was ousted from being Tesla's CEO. He still is the majority shareholder.
I think he's still the CEO.
Well, yeah, but for a while he was not because he literally took one puff of a blunt on Joe Rogan Experience, and he didn't even really inhale it. He literally just switched
didn't
it
hear
around.
that
Even though it's
part. We didn't hear
technically
that.
It was
legal
it was
in
massive
California.
news. Tesla's stock dropped 50% 15% or something ridiculous. Even though it was in California, it was totally legal. It was like Elon Musk was like, "Oh, is the same as me hitting taking a drink?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then he hits it, and then
There's people stuck in their ways.
But yeah, I think he's got enough on his plate already. He probably had enough stuff to do the next day.
Well, so what we really listened to, we didn't hear the whole entire show because we were driving to a hike and we listened to it in the car. And what I heard mostly was that Elon Musk he didn't want to own so many things, and he thought he wanted to just not be less materialistic, and he was selling all his homes, and he just
That's true.
Yes.
but then he didn't really say why.
I think it's something that smart people eventually all realize, and that is that stuff bogs you down and stuff demands your time. And after a while, you don't want to spend your time maintaining all of your stuff. So when you have too much stuff, it's time to get rid of it.
Well, I think it's also because he is a billionaire, but he's also a really smart guy. Like, I don't think his
Super
ego is
smart.
just unchecked. So I think
Yeah.
he would feel bad about he basically kind of alluded to that he got rid of them because he felt bad of all the waste, because he had all these places that he was just not going to
Right.
for
Well, and he wants-
95% of the
Yes.
year.
And he is very concerned about the environment. I just watched his interview with Wall Street Journal, and he talks a lot about being concerned about the environment. And that's why he's so concerned about bringing people to Mars. He eventually wants to have multiple of every Earth species on Mars in case, like, Earth ends up, we all end up, killing each other, or we can't tackle our CO emissions goals. That's what he wants to spend his money on. That's why he
there
doesn't
are
have vacation homes.
Mass extinction events happen every 500,000 to 3 million years or something
he
like
said
that,
even
where 80%
preparing for
of
a
life.
meteor or literally anything.
Well, it can be volcanic eruptions, meteors, temperature shifts. There's tons of different things that can cause it. Droughts, severe droughts, ice age.
Aren't you
all those
glad
different
there's
things.
somebody problem solving on that level?
Yeah.
Like we need a
He's
home
got all
other
of
than
our
Earth.
backs, I think.
Aren't you glad,
and
glad
then-
it's not the government?
No, and then there's all these
This is
entitled
private.
people tweeting, "Eat the rich, eat Elon Musk" from their iPhones, not seeing the irony that if you have an iPhone, you're a lot richer than someone else out there. So should they start sprinkling you with garlic? Come on.
So we are trying to stay positive during all this chaos that's happening. And so what do you guys think? I mean, that whole situation that happened at the White House, what did you all think about that?
I think
The Capitol.
it's terrible that they
Yeah.
were basically rioting and disrespecting the Capitol.
The Capitol,
and
that's right.
Yeah, if they were trying to claim that they were protesters, they would not have been trying to interfere with a political, activity that was happening. They were certifying the electoral votes or whatever. That's what they were trying to disrupt. So that's not, legal protesting. That's straight up rioting. And I think traitorous, borderline, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they should be punished accordingly. So, but I think that
donut.
it's something that we'll get past and we'll get through. And I think it's important for people on the right to concede and be like, you know what? Biden did win this election. We need to secure the elections going forward. And we need to win in 4 years the right way and vote him out if we don't like him as our president. That's how this country works. You can't just be a sore loser. And
It's called America, democracy.
exactly. You can't just go, "Oh, I hate these results. This is fake news, and let's go try to change the result." That's not how we do it here. So, I think we just need to remember that and stay focused. And even if Biden's not your guy, look at the positives. Your taxes might go up for the next 4 years, but there's a lot of benefits that'll be happening in the environment. He's going to reinvest in the EPA. He's committed investing in finding new green energy alternatives, reinvesting in solar, rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, which will commit to us reducing our carbon footprint. So these are all things that we're not even, I don't think these are even in Trump's vocabulary. So there's a lot of environmental benefits that'll be coming with this new administration. So
Yeah, that's definitely positive.
yeah. So I think you can be optimistic and look at it from the bright side. And yeah, how do you feel about it?
How do I feel about what?
The new administration that's coming in.
I'm very American, so I believe in democracy, and whoever wins is the winner, and you support your president.
Exactly. Yeah.
You support your president. So
yeah. So that was a pretty
yes.
traitorous activity that happened last week, and
So
it should be frowned upon. Shouldn't be glorified.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never been negative about any president while they're in office because I think that's not America.
Well, you should be critical, but not negative. Those are two different things. You need to call people out when they're doing, questionable things.
So now this is our president, and I accept it. How about you, Doc?
I'm still not sure we know who's responsible for the activity at the Capitol building. Trump supporters have had plenty of riots, and they tend to be uniformly very peaceful events, in contrast to some of the Black Lives Matter and BLM protests across the nation with burning of buildings and repeatedly attacking courtrooms for 40, 50, 60 days in a row.
Well, yeah,
Things
but
of
the
that
difference
nature.
there, though, is that they were protesting, someone getting killed in the street, choked out in the street, which was a horrific thing to watch. What happened at the Capitol was protesting an election. Nobody got murdered in the street.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So the reaction from the Black Lives Matter protest, that's an understandable reaction. I was angry watching that video. Everybody should be angry watching someone get choked out in the street like a dog. Should send the chills up your spine.
Right, but does that justify just destroying
No,
property?
it doesn't. It doesn't, but
And is that peaceful? And do we sanction that because it was for a good enough cause?
no, but it's
Good point.
But people being targeted by the police at disproportionate rates is something that's been happening in this country since slavery was made illegal. It's not a new problem. So it's sad, but that they have to go to that measure to get a reaction, but it's kind of true. Like all the peaceful protests after, Trayvon Martin and all these other people, those weren't really paid attention to. But, I think
Breonna Taylor, right?
Trayvon Martin was another person that was unfairly shot by police.
But I think if you want to hijack a Trump rally, it's easy to do, and people are learning that. Everyone's going to ignore the 100,000 peaceful protesters who are standing there with signs, and you just need a few instigators wearing Trump hats looking like goons who are not Trump supporters in any other context to stir things up, storm the Capitol building, spray paint, get the tear gas going, and make the whole thing look like this disaster, which then gives everyone else the moral high ground to say, oh, Trump's absolutely terrible. Anyone who supports him is terrible. We have to watch these people. They're dangerous to our democracy, and we have to identify who they are and stamp them out because this could happen again, and they're so dangerous.
Well, the good thing, though, is the people that were actually in the Capitol were such morons. They were taking videos of themselves in there. So they kind of already caught themselves by posting on social media. So all the people that were protesting legally outside and didn't enter the premises vandalizing and, contributing to the violence that caused the 4 people's deaths.
What I don't understand is why.
I don't think the people that were protesting legally outside are going to get wrapped into those charges.
But why didn't the cops just shoot people that were trying to come in?
Yeah, that's
There
what I'm
weren't
saying.
enough cops
I'm
there.
surprised more people weren't harmed.
I mean, like to me, that's the Capitol. That's like a sacred spot in America. Like you're coming in there, shoot, and then people would have just vanished. I don't think they would have kept trying to come in.
Yeah, we have a lot to learn because there's video footage too of the police or security opening the doors for the rioters, leading them in through the Capitol building. So I think
I saw some of that. It was really bizarre. Yeah.
So some of this I think was staged and
set up
and depicted to look a lot worse than in point of fact was, and that's another thing that is particularly concerning. Mm-hmm. I think for any young American, I like to think of myself as a young American. You guys are even younger. You have more of your future ahead of you, more career and life to make in this country. And, we need to protect it for everyone. And we need transparency. And I think one thing that social media has taught us is that social media has made us more aware that we demand transparency and authenticity. No one has time for anyone's crap. Nobody wants to see a charade. Everybody wants to know exactly who you are, what you think, what you offer, what you're doing, or we change the channel, or we swipe left. Social media has taught us that, and we should be demanding that exact same thing at the level of government. Who are you? What are you doing? What do you want? Be transparent. Why are you censoring? What's going on? Tell us now. We want to see that the election was truly authentic and fair. Let us appoint people to watch every single step of it. Make sure both sides agree that this is totally transparent. We demand transparency. And why can't we have transparency? We should insist on transparency.
Well, yeah, I think everybody can agree that our current election system is really outdated, but who was in charge the past 4 years to try to implement some kind of new nationwide, secure voting system? That's a big question to ask.
Well, my question is that the scary part of the end of Trump's speech was, this is just the beginning. What is he talking about? What is just the beginning?
He's trying to suggest that he's not going to leave power.
What's that?
He's trying to suggest that he's not going to leave power. He said in that same speech that he will never concede, quote unquote. He said that. That's the one line that everybody's freaking out about, saying that he did incite the riot, because that's other word for I will never accept that I lost. So that's kind of fighting words.
Well, a lot of people out there have all these conspiracies, and I don't want to divulge and talk about that, but a lot of people are saying that there's some stuff out there that's brewing, and it's kind of scary. So
we got to stay positive and stay active, because
yes, we do.
Yeah. If you watch the news or social media
it's so
too much,
hard
it's
with
so
social
stressful.
media now because it's just hard to find the truth now. You actually have to dig around all the BS to figure out what is actually true. So, yeah, social media is just going down the shooter right now.
So as we're dealing with this, we've got Doc with us, and we've got Christina, who's a personal trainer / nutritionist, and also now a realtor.
Yes,
you're
officially.
So she's going to give us
hopefully
some tips in all those departments. And then, Doc, what can we all do to alleviate stress with what's going on? I mean, we can't deny that it's stressful. Just, this just happened a few days ago. And so outside of exercise, obviously I've been hiking every day. Give us some tips.
What else to do? I think one of the most important things to be cognizant of right now is to not allow yourself to stay angry. If something happens that makes you angry, it's important to really quickly say, wow, there was a stimulus there that I reacted really strongly to. As an act of self-preservation, I am going to stop feeling anger and identify what that is and try to deal with it objectively. But the more time that we allow our bodies to remain in a state of panic, in a state of fear, the stress hormones, chemicals are racing through our bloodstream and wreaking havoc on our immune system and on our tissues, and that is not healthy. So the first thing to do is to capture yourself when you're having that strong reaction and say, I can deal with this stimulus just as well if I'm not experiencing anger. So catch yourself quickly.
So if you're experiencing anger, you're saying that obviously we all know that's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's hurting our tissues and possibly causing disease. So exercise and music, give us some more tips.
I love music as a distraction. Meditation. I'm becoming a huge fan of meditation, taking the time to quiet your mind and enter into the present moment. I think that when you recreate the present moment, that becomes your source of power for controlling your own responses and for dealing with all the stresses and challenges that are coming at you.
I think limiting the amount of news that you consume and social media, we already touched on that a little bit, but I think limiting the amount of news you watch, definitely.
How do you two get out and have go stress-free and have some joy during this whole time when it's stressful?
Well, we actually just did yoga a couple days ago.
I've
Chet
been trying to do it every
got
day.
me more into yoga.
Yeah,
Chet's doing yoga?
I've been trying to do it every day because it's
how cute. I didn't know that.
Feels really good. I'll actually give her channel the plug. It's called Yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. If you just search yoga, her channel, she has 10 million subscribers or something crazy like that. But she's really knowledgeable. I recommend it for advanced or beginner. any level. So yeah. Oh well. Thanks
and-
for bringing that up.
So you do yoga at home?
It's so
We
good
do,
for stress
yeah.
relief because if you're actually doing a more intense flow, it's really like a meditation practice.
You literally
because,
can't think about anything
yeah,
else.
because if you are doing a pose where your leg is up and behind you, it takes a lot of mental focus to like hold your form good in those positions. So it really doubles as it's good for your body and your mind because you are following her steps, you're following the breathing patterns, and all of a sudden 20 minutes later you're like, oh, I feel refreshed, my mind is clear.
I'm so impressed. I want you to text me
And then I think
her name again.
high intensity workouts are also really, really good for you. Whether it's just, a bunch of sit-ups or push-ups, you don't have to do high risk weights or anything like that. Even just go do 100 standing squats or something. Anything where you're exerting your muscles at a high level.
Well, Christina, you know that you're the trainer. What exercise tips can you give us?
Well, I think a lot of people struggle with finding something that they actually enjoy. When people, think of working out, they think of going to the gym. The past couple months, we haven't really even been going to the gym. We've been finding other things to do to get active.
I've gone to the gym, but
Okay, you can still go to the gym, but I'm saying in general,
you exercise together without the gym.
People
Don't
will
loop me
just
into
go to
that.
the gym, and then they're like, "Now I'm here, and now I guess I'll just hit the treadmill and like do some squats." But like, a lot of people don't enjoy that. So hiking, finding a sport that you like,
You guys play basketball?
basketball, tennis, literally anything that gets you moving. I mean,
Swimming, I know you
don't
guys
have
swim.
to go to the gym to be active. And I think a lot of people are kind of struggling with that. They feel like they need to be going to the gym. They struggle finding something that they enjoy.
What about dancing? You guys both produce your music.
Dancing, we go
Speaking
dancing
of
all the
which-
time. Another thing that I think is a really good stress reliever right now. Obviously, there's a lot of things happening that we have no control over. I think it's really important to focus on things that you personally do have control over. At the end of the day, you control your own happiness. You can't blame other people, other things, because you're not happy. So I think it's important to find things that make you happy, make you grow as a person, and focus on those things.
You're
Well,
responsible for your own happiness,
Things
and
that
happiness
you
is a
have,
choice.
things
Well,
that
but
you have control over.
people can be so stuck in like a depressed, inactive rut though. And I think,
And those people usually blame other people for their problems.
yeah, but
You need to realize
I agree.
physical activity like yoga or lifting weights or both or going for a run, anything like that is such a good starting point for people that are in a depressed rut to try to get into better habits that'll, start leading to more self-respect and they'll start feeling better physically and mentally. So if you are feeling down, go run, go work.
I agree.
go run.
Or start dancing.
I think it's
Or,
the best stress alleviator. Sprints or
like,
bench press. Go do it.
Board games and puzzles. We've been kind of doing that a lot lately
Wow.
too. That's something that is good for your mind.
Yes.
Social interactions,
Yes.
things you can do with your friends and family at home.
It's fun beating people in Scrabble.
We had a
I usually
big
win.
Scrabble's a
board
great
game
game.
sesh last night. So
I would actually like to see a challenge game here with you guys playing with Doc, because Chet always wins.
Oh, and Scrabble?
I've beaten
That's not
Chet,
true.
so that's not
You
true.
beat Chet?
Yes.
Oh my
Once,
goodness, I'm so
When
surprised.
I got the worst letters. I think.
Well, we were going to surprise you and play your song,
You
Chet.
create your own
Yeah,
happiness
yeah, yeah.
there, but you can't blame the Scrabble letters.
Who won last time?
I don't know.
So, Doc, how do you
What
feel
the-
about
You
these
did, you did.
ideas for alleviating stress?
I mean, I think it's great. I think exercise is a huge part of it. Unplugging is a huge part of it. And when you're done exercising, you have to be able to meditate to the point where you feel your locus of control restored. You have to move past the fear. Regardless of whatever circumstance you find confronting you, you can get to the point within yourself where you are no longer feeling stressed out, feeling fearful. That's your locus of control. And from there, you can objectively confront your problems and take action to create solutions for yourself. So it is totally up to you, but I think we need to learn to find our own locus of control before we are lashing out from a position of panic, which I think a lot of people are doing right now. I mean, I see it in healthcare. I mean, we have patients coming in and out all day. They're stressed out. They're incredibly stressed out by circumstances, by difficulties, by the challenges of COVID, dealing with family members with COVID, restrictions on hospital care, healthcare. When are we getting the vaccine? Everybody's in line. There's a lot of stress out there. And if I could just have the time to counsel my patients a little bit more, to say, you know what, we can deal with your medical issues. We will work through your problems. What I need you to do is calm down and find a place where you can be operating from a position of control. So important. It's a biblical principle. You know, the text, God says, I am that I am. It's the ultimate I am. And it's the power of returning to I am. Experience who you actually are is the center of your locus of control and the point from which you can be creative and problem solve. You know, the present moment, it's super mundane. You know, I meditate in my closet because I can close the door, and you say, wow, what's in the present moment? You know, I'm hungry, my foot itches, you know, it's dark in here, it's a little stuffy, but if you can really experience what's happening right now and shut off distractions to the point you're experiencing what's happening right now, regardless of how mundane that can be, you'll find from there that you start to gain clarity.
So Doc has sent me some songs on my phone, and he's like, learn these words, learn the lyrics. And it's funny.
She's got them.
Yeah. And so, I've memorized them. And so when you, he thinks that's really good for our brain cells, you know, when you're always memorizing lyrics, because to the music, and then there's something therapeutic and cathartic, because when you're singing, it makes you instantly feel good. And so that's one of his tips, and he's been sending me songs, and then I've been memorizing the songs, and then when we're in the car together, we sing, and it's super fun. Like, you know, driving here, it's like, ooh, we're singing. It's really fun.
Well, this is kind of a weird thought. You know, when you haven't heard a song in 10 years and it comes on and you still remember every single word? How is that?
Good
is
for your
that
memory, yeah.
music therapy? Like,
it's music therapy.
I wouldn't.
That's a good
if
question.
you hear a conversation you heard 10 years ago, you wouldn't remember, but a song, you instantly remember all the lyrics.
There's something with brain cells that it triggers something in your brain cells that makes you remember, and it does something to help your memory, right, Doc?
That is how brain cells work, yes. But
but it's different with music than a regular conversation.
Well, right. I think it has to do is you remember really high points and really low points more than mundane conversation. So you might remember a specific conversation you had on your birthday, or a really good song that you love, or a really bad moment. You'd remember those more vividly than, you know, just a random moment, I would say. But I'm also not a neurologist, so I couldn't tell you.
I feel like that's
intricate
always
details
something where
about
I've
it.
just been like,
But I like read a paper that, like, you know, big important life events, or like things that really had a big impression on your mood, you have more vivid recollection of those.
Yeah. So to generalize, when you experience intense emotion,
Yeah.
you remember what happened at the time of that emotion, because that really forms the memory. So like with music, with a song, you feel, wow, I'm so positive, I'm elated, I feel like I'm in love, whatever. You know, you're going to remember what's happening at that time. And then 10 years down the road, when that song comes up, it's going to transport you right back there. And, you know, the same thing with major life events. So, you know, as a self-improvement, personal performance tip, you know, we want to experience intense, positive emotion at the appropriate times in our lives, and realize this is something that we have some control over with, and we can use it to, you know, reinforce what's working for us, reinforce our good performance patterns, learn the material that we really want to retain, you know, realize and appreciate the role of emotion and all of that.
Yeah, I definitely think that, you know, people need to stay in touch with their emotions and experience them fully, but not let them take control of their lives or their thinking at the same time. I think meditating is important to have the right balance with those.
Well, once again, my favorite tip out there to anybody that's listening on our Star Worldwide Network, on In the Green Green, on our podcast channel, and now we have a new YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Woo! In the Green Room on YouTube. My favorite tip out there is number 1, hiking, and number 2, learning the lyrics that Doc taught me.
Okay, what about
singing
someone
songs.
that doesn't have a foot?
Swimming.
Okay.
Swimming. That's good, Chet. Swimming, dancing.
find your nearest lake.
You can dance in a chair. Woo! So those are some of the tips. So now Doc wants to give us some nutrition tips, and we want to hear some tips from Christina. But what is this water we have here? Is this one of our tips to feel healthier or have more energy?
Okay, so let's talk about water. And thank you so much for asking for this to be on the show. This is something I'm very excited about, and that is hydrogen water. Have we all heard of hydrogen water? It's amazing. There are like literally 1,000 basic science research studies on the benefits of hydrogen water, basically the role of hydrogen in our bodies and how drinking hydrogen water can tap into those mechanisms. So hydrogen as a molecule, H2, it's the smallest atom on the periodic table. So H2 becomes 2 protons. It is absolutely tiny. And then H2, it's also electrically neutral. So when this very tiny molecule, which is electrically neutral, is in your body, it can literally diffuse throughout your body uninterrupted to all of your tissues. All of your cells can receive hydrogen when it's
and what does that do?
When it's dissolved in your bloodstream.
Can you dumb it down for us?
Yeah, so it's basically known to act as a second messenger in almost every organ system. So the cells of your body are ready to do great positive things if they receive the right stimulus. And the stimulus they're looking for is molecular hydrogen, H2. So
But still, all that mumbo jumbo, what does that mean? Like, what is that doing to our body?
So hydrogen water therapy has been shown and published to improve cardiovascular fitness.
This is what I want to hear. Okay.
So endurance athletes are going harder, longer as a result of training with hydrogen water and drinking hydrogen water during events.
Okay, so it gives us more energy.
Gives us more energy, and
we it's
also helping with chronic diseases, neurologic diseases like Parkinson's, things of this nature.
So it helps our brain.
Helps your brain, and helps your nervous system recover from trauma or insults.
So how many pills do I put in here?
Just one. So this is my morning routine. Okay, when I get up first thing in the morning, I go for a mason jar of water, purified water. I use a 16-ounce mason jar. So we've all heard the thing that you should drink 8-ounce glasses of water a day. So that's like 2 glasses of water, and I'll do that with dissolved molecular hydrogen, which I'm getting from this very great source, which is out of British Columbia, Canada, and they have independent research studies on that. So put the lid on.
Oh, put the lid on. Okay.
So you drop 1 pill of the Drink HRW. Oh, don't shake it.
Oh, don't shake it. Oh my gosh.
So why do you need the lid?
Don't shake it.
Why do you need the lid to be on?
I want the lid on so we see the tablet of hydrogen is dissolving in the bottom of the glass, and you can see the molecular bubbles going up.
So you want to keep those in there?
I want to keep them in. And basically, I wait for that tab to dissolve, and when it is done dissolving, then it's ready to drink. And you don't want to wait too long.
So you just pound it, you chug it, get all that hydrogen, yeah.
All that hydrogen.
Yeah, you need it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's hydrogenized water, and then what it does is it goes into your gut, and then your gut absorbs it in your bloodstream, and now you got the hydrogen in your bloodstream, which is where you want it.
So it fights diseases, it gives you energy, it makes you athletes be able to maintain
improves long-term performance, yeah.
Okay. What about sexually?
I can't think of the specific reference.
I mean, if you're feeling better in general, then
I mean, sexual health and dysfunction is basically a cardiovascular condition. That's how we see it. We see like erectile dysfunction as an early manifestation of vascular disease or people having unhealthy blood vessels. So anything that
cold before.
I took the cold water.
The actual water out of the
and that's for you two to drink. For you guys to share it.
So this is like a daily morning ritual.
I do it every morning, yeah. So Drink HRW says 1 to 2 tablets a day. And we're actually doing some research studies on reversing cardiac disease with this exact product that Drink HRW will be sponsoring. If you'd like to try hydrogen water, you can order it online at drinkhrw.com. And if you enter the code JKMD, you get a 10% discount from the company. So
nice.
if you'd like to experiment with hydrogen water, they have a bunch of products.
Get crazy out there.
Creams and
I'm excited.
Real hard with that hydrogen.
I just go for the basic rejuvenation pill bottle.
So how much does this bottle cost? What does this cost?
I'm gonna guess $30-ish.
Not too bad.
For a twice daily 1 month supply.
And so it's going to help every kind of performance all our functions. our bodily functions.
The research is really strong. Now, there's electrolysis machines that you can buy for your house that will create hydrogen water by different mechanisms rather than a dissolving tablet. And some people may argue that that is a better way to obtain really potent hydrogen water. But the independent studies with this product are convincing, and I think this is a good form of hydrogen water. And if you are truly convinced by this, you may want to get a home electrolysis machine, but now you're going to be spending thousands of dollars.
Okay, so we tapped on just a little second there about sex. And as we
just brought it up randomly when we're talking about hydrogen tablets. I have nothing to do with sex at all. They're literally just good for your body.
But as
You
we're
just
talking about
need
ways,
to
but as we're talking about ways to
work
relieve
something out
stress,
yourself because we're talking about health tablets.
You guys
These
wanna-
aren't Viagra.
do you guys
They're
wanna drink?
hydrogen.
Yeah, I would love
Water.
to try some.
Okay, they're
Is
good.
it done?
It's pretty much done.
And there's no taste?
There's a little.
It has an odd smell to it. Christina,
Yeah,
you
it does
can
have- it does
the
have an
first
odd
Smells
smell.
one.
like dirty feet.
Yeah.
and it leaves a little bit of a residue. So
Yeah,
you
that
got to
is
be. You got to. The commitment's
You
got to be there.
first. You first.
No. I already have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna have to run.
I'll do it. I'll do it. If we have no.
I actually
believer.
already might have to go to the bathroom. Just like,
drink.
Because that smelled like piss, kind of. But no, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Doc, is that one of
I
the
guess I
ways?
should have poured it in a cup.
Does it taste bad?
Okay, Doc,
I'm not sick though, so.
as she's drinking
No,
this down.
it actually doesn't.
It tastes fine, right?
Yeah.
It tastes fine.
I
It's a
would
little
say
smoky.
maybe-
There's a little bit of a residue, but
What if you could maybe make lemonade with it and get rid of the flavor?
Oh, that's smart. Oh, I like that.
Put some lemon in there.
Put lemon.
Hydrogen.
Ooh, I like that.
I have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to drink anything.
I tried it with a nitric
I mean-
oxide product.
Exaggeration.
This is what it looks like.
Hey, he just downs it. There we go. Downing the water. It's going to help his performance.
Showing me up over here.
It's going to help his surgeries. Because we're saving the planet
One
show
show
at a
at a
time.
time.
And Doc's saving lives.
One life at a time. One heart at a time. One rhythm at a time. I'm a rhythm doctor.
So Doc,
So there.
seriously,
I love it. Sorry.
I'm not joking about it. So during these stressful times, does sex help lengthen our lives? Because I know that in the blue zones that we've discussed the principles, Dan Buettner says that that's really important. So
Yeah,
how do
if
you
you,
feel
I think
about
if you
that?
dive into the blue zones culture, they're having a fair amount of sex and good sex.
Well,
for
there
sure.
wouldn't be any people left in those areas if they weren't having sex. That's kind of how that works.
That was
There's
smart.
people there, then they're reproducing.
So how-
I would
But,
say.
but you know, people are enjoying
Yeah,
sex.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
women are enjoying sex way past menopause. They're
yeah.
enjoying sex, and that's part of their positive living experience.
So how
it goes
important is
beyond.
sex then? What will you tell us about how important it is for us?
Well, I think in the proper context of an established relationship where you're growing with somebody and becoming close to somebody, and you have a partnership with them, and you're sharing yourself with them and receiving them, I think sex in that context is extremely beneficial. Outside of that context, it becomes a little bit high risk, although and it can so you got to then you have to start becoming really careful, and I think the thrill may not have the health benefit of what that would be in the context of a proper relationship.
So do you tell your patients they need to go out and have sex?
We usually have a lot.
Go out and have sex.
You're going to give up all the secrets
already-
of his practice here. Come on.
I already have a hard time getting most of my patients out the door because we have so much other things to talk about. But a lot of patients ask me about their sexual health and whether they can do, whether they're allowed and it's okay. And I usually say, yeah, absolutely. If you're capable of it and you want to have sex and you have a partner who wants to have sex with you, then you should be having sex.
Hopefully.
Viagra and nitrates, you got to be cautious because those things can really collapse your cardiovascular system. So there's certain medications that we can't mix. You know what I mean? So I got to be aware of what those are and caution people that way.
So the nutrition that you recommend, this Ultimate Transformation Program, do those foods help men perform better?
Absolutely.
How so?
Well, it all improves your cardiovascular system, which is the first important thing, right?
Okay.
Okay, erections are a question of blood supply. And when
Okay.
that starts to become limited, then you actually can't achieve your erection and your sex life is going to be very frustrating. So having a great, brisk cardiovascular system where you're a good young buck, you're going to perform well and you're going to do just fine into your 70s and 80s and beyond.
So if you're eating too much steak and you're eating, these unhealthy foods, these, fried foods and, pancakes and bacon, that is going to diminish your sexual performance.
Yeah. It's going to start to make your blood vessels stiff and rigid and maybe narrow, and they're not going to perform as well. And you won't be able to achieve and maintain the erection that you want.
Stiff and rigid sound like two good qualities. No.
Sorry. Right.
So this is
That was low hanging fruit.
that was good, Chet. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, so you need vascular engorgement, in your penis to achieve a firm erection. That's what's doing it. It's like water pressure or blood pressure, honestly, that gets trapped in there. And so you need those vessels to accommodate and stretch. And then,
beans help that.
Are one of the topic lines
Beans?
sixth
Help
grade
with
sex ed?
vascular
I
health.
didn't read it on the topic lines. No, I'm kidding.
I think
Sixth grade sex ed. That's what's going on, and I'm kidding. Come on.
Thank you, Chad,
Yeah.
for rescuing me from this line of
Yeah,
conversation.
come on. Let's move on to.
yeah, where did this come from?
Yeah.
From
You got
water?
something on your mind. You need to work it out. Like, Jesus Christ.
When the host puts you on the
Took for
spot, you
one to
feel like you
Vegas
know an
for a week
answer,
or
right?
something.
Yeah, you're a doctor.
No,
We're
work it
talking
out of your
about ways.
system.
No, we're here talking about ways to.
No, you're just you're having sexual thoughts about a hydrogen tablet. That's what I'm saying. You need to relax. Yeah.
And on that note, no, I was kidding.
Good thing we didn't have the animal trainer in here today, because I could be taken a lot more sexually than a hydrogen tablet.
Okay, so Doc, what are some other ways that we can really, promote our health during this stressful time? And also, Christina, you're the trainer, you're the nutritionist. Give us some tips. We only have 5 more minutes. In closing, what would you tell your clients? What would you tell your patients?
I guess I'll emphasize hydration. Stay hydrated. I think we overreact. We get dehydrated too much. If you actually start to feel thirsty, you are dehydrated. You should have drunk before you actually felt thirsty. We should never actually feel thirsty, because we should be proactively drinking in advance of that. So I think starting your morning with 12, 16 ounces of pure water reinforced with hydrogen is a great start to your day. And I'd recommend that to anybody to get ahead of their stress and get ahead of their performance characteristics that they need.
Okay.
And of course, you can do that again in the evening, but remember to hydrate throughout the day. I'm going to emphasize that one.
Okay, my tip is get out there and hike. I think Mother Nature, it reminds you of how important our planet is and how we need to be all doing little things, small things, anything you can do to improve what you're doing daily to help our planet. And I think when you're out in Mother Nature, you really get reminded of how important it is.
You hike into the desert, you need to hydrate.
Oh, that's right. I did 5 miles this morning.
Right?
So-
No joke.
Nice.
So
Yeah, so it was really
tank
nice.
up.
With a future guest on the show. And by the way, I get to spend my weekend. Anyway, I hang out with this race car driver that's going to be on the show soon, Michael Waltrip. That was pretty fun. So, yeah. So, what's your tip, Christina?
I think continuing to support the healthcare workers and professionals and any friends in the healthcare, I think just reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay. I know it's just been stressful in the hospital. I have some friends that are, doctors, nurses, and it's just a lot right now. A lot of, things that we're just not used to. So I think definitely just make sure that you're appreciating the healthcare friends right now. Yeah.
That's a great tip. Chet, what's your tip out there?
I would say work out more, and high intensity workouts specifically, like, a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups,
You already said that. Something new.
Well, no, but
I like that. Yes.
it's important to emphasize how good it is for your physical health, and then that'll trickle down into your mental health, and you'll just feel so much better. Like, whenever I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, oh, I probably didn't work out enough today. And then
I had a patient today who delivers school lunches, and he noticed how fat the kids are getting because they're not exercising as much.
yeah, 100%.
It's not nice to say fat.
Yeah, he's got all
You gotta call it what it
little
is.
kids.
Hey, truth hurts sometimes.
A little
Yeah.
fat shaming is good, because then they'll, start running a little bit. We'll have tits. It'll be good.
Well, so when we only have 1 more minute, Doc, we all gave our tip. Now I want to hear like 3 things that we should be eating daily that could really improve our mental clarity and just help us stay healthy. 3 to 5 things.
I'm going to go to Lessons of the Blue Zones. We need
Okay.
to be eating beans almost every day.
Beans every day. Okay.
Don't be afraid of a little farting.
I'm
Plant-based
actually
diet, lots
afraid,
of greens,
so.
lots of
Plant-based.
greens,
Lots of greens.
lots of fresh greens,
fresh greens.
lots of fresh fruits,
fresh fruits.
and I'll take a good cereal like chia seeds.
And what about nuts?
Blue Zones had a little handful of nuts every day.
I was
A little-
reading up about. Did you know about chia seeds? Do you eat a lot of chia seeds, Christina?
Here and there.
Because Doc thinks we need to eat it daily, and you should get Chet to do it because it really reverses any damage that's already been done.
It's nice. You can kind of sprinkle it on whatever you're eating. Yeah, I agree.
And no boofing. The kids might be doing it, but
We're
it's not safe.
doing like a cup of chia seeds a day, so soaked in
Yeah,
water.
yeah. He wants you to eat
So
a cup of
it's
chia seeds a day.
Kind of beyond sprinkling.
After soaking or before soaking?
before
Pre-soaked.
soaking, pre-soaked, and then you add the water, and they kind of double. That's part of my breakfast routine. I would recommend it for anybody who has a problem with hunger late in the morning.
It really does fill you up, and it reverses signs of.
You get all your omegas, almost your entire protein requirement with plant-based proteins, and lots of soluble, insoluble fiber, which is important.
So in
It's a
closing,
good start to that.
what do chia seeds reverse? Chia seeds and beans. What damage can it reverse?
It's going to improve your memory. It's going to prevent Alzheimer's disease. It's going to protect the cardiovascular system. It's going to give your muscles the type of fat they want to burn for maximal energy performance.
How
Okay.
do chia
Sweet.
seeds prevent Alzheimer's? That's impressive.
Because of the omega-3s.
The omega-3s, yeah.
Extreme amount of
Oh,
omega-3s.
those are good for your brain health.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Interesting.
All right. Well, it's been a fun show.
I love this one.
It was fun.
It's a fun show. And they sell the hydrogen tablets at the sex shop down the road. No, I'm kidding. Have a good one, everyone.
Anyway, everybody stay positive during this chaos. Anyway, God bless.
Thank you for listening to In the Green Room. Join us here live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. or anytime on demand 24/7 on StarWorldWideNetworks.com.